Hi guys, I'm Shmi, hello and welcome back to the channel where you join me today at Laguna Seca in California with Hypercar Invitational. Today I'm going to be driving that Zenvo TSR-S out on track at Laguna Seca. We need to talk all about my TSR-S and when we're going to be seeing it completed, when we will be able to see the car, what the plans are for it. But here at Hypercar Invitational, the cars around are out of this world. From the road hypercars like the Pagani Huayra Roadster BC and the Koenigseggs to all of the track hypercars as well, the Valkyrie AMR Pros, the Vulcan, the Senna GTR, the FXX, the Essentia SCV12, the Ford GT Mark II, there's a LaFerrari just here, a Monza behind. There are so many incredible cars here at Hypercar Invitational, but today is all about this, the very same TSR-S that came to visit the Museum, the car that I drove when I finalized everything to go ahead before revealing all to you guys about doing this, about purchasing the Zenvo hypercar. Well, today we've got a lot to touch on. I am very excited, anxious, nervous, kind of everything rolled into one about driving here at Laguna Seca for the first time ever, my first proper laps, and they're going to be in a 1,177 horsepower Zenvo TSR-S. Let's do this, let's have all of the news. This event is absolutely crazy, the number of different cars that are taking part. We had all of the supercars and hypercars at the drag strip, out for the convoy drive, and plenty more. Those are parked all around us. The likes of the MC20 just here. There's actually a red P1 just parking up next to that yellow LaFerrari just over that away. But lined up in the pit boxes, LAF and Monza SP2 just here, the two Zenvos, the Pagani, multiple Senna GTRs now in the pit boxes down that away. The Valkyrie AMR Pros are just over in the pit lane as well. Hypercar Invitational has brought together so many different types of cars. There are some classics running around, there are some drift cars, all of the different cars here at Laguna Seca. Now, I've never driven around, I've done some sighting laps, but up that way we have the famous corkscrew, the elevation change right up to the top, probably one of the most famous corners on any race circuit around the world, and one I'm quite anxious about because the first time I'm ever going to drive it properly is in this, the 1,177 horsepower Zenvo TSR-S. Now we need to talk a little bit about my Zenvo. This is the very car that came to the Museum about a year ago when we finalized all of the plans behind it. Since then we've had the Road to Zenvo series up to this point where I've been to see parts of it being manufactured and assembled, from laying the carbon fiber for the wheels through to the assembly of the car in the assembly hall itself, through very nearly to completion. And I know a lot of you are wondering, when is my TSR-S going to be ready? Well, it's not that far away now, but I've been able to persuade the guys at Zenvo to very kindly bring my car from the factory in Denmark to the UK in a week or two for the Goodwood Festival of Speed. If you're there, it's going to be in the Michelin Supercar paddock. I am super excited to see it in a nearly completed state myself. From that point, there will still be a few more things that are needed. The final testing, it's not quite complete, so it will go back to Denmark so that I can then head over to go and collect it from the factory in Præstø, and I cannot wait for that. That's going to be super, super exciting when the time comes. So we need to talk a little bit about it. If you're not familiar with the Zenvo TSR-S, the TSR-S stands for Twin Supercharged Race, because they originally made a race car, and the S for Street. It is a road legal street car with their in-house 5.8 litre twin supercharged V8, making, as I said, just shy of 1,200 horsepower. I'm going to be driving it today in the IQ mode, and I'll explain a little bit more about that. We've got the full carbon body. This is the very car that we saw with this wonderful multi-layer blue paint with the silver wheels. I've gone for the carbon fiber wheels, but it's a car that's about brute force. It's raw, it's aggressive, it's angry. The shifts, when you pop it up into race mode, sound out of this world, and we're going to be experiencing it in anger. So yes, my first laps at Laguna Seca are in a car with more than 1,000 horsepower. Slightly nervous, excited, not going to say otherwise, to drive the Zenvo in anger for the first time. Hopefully down the line we can see mine being driven in anger. Maybe it will even be here at some point. But for today, I need to go and get myself ready. Got signed on, got the wristbands and all of that here with Hypercar Invitational. Need to grab a helmet, get myself prepared, get the mindset in place to drive the Zenvo TSR-S out on track. I've got the key. Let's get ready for this. Let's do it. TSR-S here at Laguna Seca. One of the unique things about the TSR-S is this, the centripetal rear wing that acts as an active spoiler. It also pivots forwards for air braking, sits back for reducing the drag if you're accelerating. But the centripetal nature is how it also pivots from side to side. It's often known, I think, as the car with the crazy wing, because when you see it in action, it is moving all over the place to help with downforce. By having the wing in the higher air means that you get more effective downforce up high, and means that the car has ultimately more performance around the racetrack. It is a car that's rear driven. The gearbox is mega. The gearbox thumps through the shifts. Going to be experiencing that in a moment. I mean, look at the diffuser and everything about it. It's just a wild, wild, wild thing. Now, a few people have actually asked about the door handles. There's no obvious door handle, because in fact there is a button just on the inside. You press that, door pops open. Where inside here on this car, we've got the dual tone asymmetric design with the blue for the driver's side, mostly black on the passenger side. But yeah, it's all pretty much geared up. I suppose I'll stick some cameras in the car, we'll get it started, and then we're going out. It is time, so let's pop the key in. There we go, the thunderous roar. So we're in road mode, we're in IQ mode. Oh, just get my senses for a moment. We're comfortable, this is good, the AC is blasting. So let's go into gear with drive, road 1, and away we go. So, Laguna Seca, past the Valkyrie AMR Pros. Here we come. I'd be lying if I said I wasn't both nervous and excited at the moment. As we head out the pit lane, there's a long pit exit here. My first proper laps at Laguna Seca, and they're in the Zenvo. It's going to do a couple of laps, get a feel for it, nothing too crazy. That looks cool. Watching the cars go around, tight pit exit here. So in road gearbox selected mode, obviously things are slightly slower to shift. Going to build into it. Goodness me, it's ferocious. Okay, there are some cars running faster, so let me give them the go by. GT3RS, so wow, even in road it thuds through the gears. Firm on the brakes. We're going to use lots of the torque and the power from this. Up the hill. A line of cars behind. You can go quicker through here than you think you can. I've literally just had some sighting laps and a small bit of experience. This is up towards the top, the famous corkscrew coming right up. I'm going to overbrake just to protect myself here. Into the first part, over the hill. Wow. My word. This is ridiculous. This is absolutely ridiculous. I'm driving, and I'm going to put it into race mode, in fact. Very tight last corner. I'm going to take it wide because I've got the Senna GTR behind me. Let's let them go through. Maybe after the straight. Let a few cars through. Wow, the Super Trofeo. STO and Super Trofeo together. Just being conscious that this is a very valuable pre-production vehicle that Zenvo have kindly allowed me to drive today. And we're trying not to go too crazy because they need it for a lot of customer drives and experiences. But to have let me take this out is really quite extraordinary. My word, this is fast. Just enjoying the gears. Tell you what, it gives you a lot of feedback. Up the hill, chasing the SVJ. must confess that I do not know the ideal lines through here. That elevation change is surreal. That's the SVJ that I drove, by the way. Dancing all around behind me. What can I tell you? This is so thunderously loud, and it's all about the drama. And I tell you what, feeling the change in aero just with the throttle balancing, like in the Senna, is also fascinating. You're very aware that it's happy to be adaptive as you go. It's just slightly restrictive on power in the lower gears. Totally mad. So let's let faster cars through for a moment. 765 LT. Faster, of course, because of who's driving, as opposed to the car. Let the Ford GT Mark II go through. This will be my last lap. That thing is quick. Definitely if I was in my own car, I'd be pushing even harder. But in someone else's car, you kind of have to respect it. And all I can say is thank you to Zenvo for this opportunity. My first time driving a TSR-S on track, and it's at Laguna Seca. My first ever outing around this course. Watching the wing through the corkscrew. This is amazing. I can see a little bit of it in the mirrors. I'm going to let the 488 challenge probably come flying through. If I keep it left, back off, and get ready to enter into the pits. Well, that was an experience and a half. My word, I'm hot. But here we are. Here we are. Made it round. That has been simply tremendous. Absolutely tremendous. And now it's time to exit. AC is blasting, which is very much needed in these conditions. But man, that was fun. That was hardcore. That was intense, but it bodes very well for the arrival of mine in the not too distant future. Very, very well indeed. I just need AC. Oh, it's so hot. Oh yeah. And that's that. I've needed a few minutes to cool down. It is both spectacularly hot here, but the sheer intensity of driving in this thing, it's clearly a beast that needs taming. It clearly needs experience of the track and some experience of the car to get the most out of it. But you feel that sense of rawness, of aggression, of the brute force of the car, the anger of the car. Obviously, I've barely used any of the power. I've not been full throttle in the slightest. I've not been at the top of the rev range, I'm respecting the value of the car and just out for an experience and having a good time, and a bit of a teaser, a taster, if you will, ahead of mine, which obviously will be my responsibility from then onwards. That's a whole different topic. But to be able to go and do some laps here at Laguna Seca in this, to be able to get behind the wheel and sense some of that experience and what the Zenvo is about, has certainly whetted my appetite. That looks quite nice just as it comes past. That red STO with the silver wheels. As I say, has certainly whetted my appetite for what's to come with mine. I mean, it's not the refined precision of a Porsche. It's not the refined precision even of a McLaren, the way they just obliterate race circuits. But what it is a massive sense of occasion. And that's what cars like this are more about. They're more about making you think, wow, what did I just drive? You know, mind-blowing, epic experiences. And that's exactly what this has been. And that is exactly what this has been. Obviously, Cup 2R tyres, they perform better when you get them even more up to temperature. But just, yeah, I'm just gathering my thoughts and taking it all in, because that was really something. That was really something else. And I mean, to see the blue car here and also the white car as well, to be back with those two cars out here at the moment, to see them again on another different continent in such illustrious company. This has truly been a fantastic event so far, and I mean, it's still the early days of the event. We've still got plenty more to come, so stay tuned for all of that. I need to come and show you some of the other cars, because obviously in my laps, I got overtaken by a Senna GTR, a Huracan Super Trofeo, a 488 GT3, the Ford GT Mark II. Yeah, they've all got slicks in their race cars, and I'm driving a road legal, road spec car. They didn't set it up for today. It's in road spec. And you know, we've got an AMG GT3, just in there. We've got the lovely Ford GT here, which matches the Ford GT Mark II that went past me, which is just in pit garage number 6, chilling there. Absolutely stunning multi-layer yellow paint LaFerrari. I mean, you get the point here. Look at all the cars. We've got the Volcano Red McLaren P1. This is just the start. I mean, you look around, GT2RSs, truck cars everywhere. There's an SF90 tucked in just over there as well. And then the SVJ that I drove and have now driven with on track as well. Hypercar Invitational has dialed it up a notch. Oh, we've got to come this way. Come and have a look at this. Come and have a look at this as well. In pit box number 1, if we squeeze through here for a moment, come and check this out. It's the unplugged performance Tesla, where you basically get a splitter and a wing, and your Tesla comes attached to it. If you get the full unplugged racetrack setup. So that's pretty cool. They're running around and doing some laps, I think, with that, to see firstly whether the aero can handle the corkscrew, because it's serious. When you're going over that blind path up at the top, you have no idea what's, you know, if you don't know it too well, how soon you need to be braking before you dip to the left. And when you dip to the left, you can't at that point in time see the curb to the right. So you're dipping over completely blind. You have no idea where exactly it's going to go, and then you just hope and thank your lucky stars that you make it through and it all goes completely to plan. So yes, awesome day here at Hypercar Invitational. Huge thanks to Zenvo for letting me take the wheel. That wasn't really in the plans with the car today, and very exciting that they're going to be bringing it over to the Goodwood Festival of Speed to be able to share with you guys. If you're there, come down and see it. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday of the Festival of Speed. The car is going to be there on show, and then obviously from there back to Denmark to get things finished up before hopefully collecting it not too long after that. Today has been pretty fun with this, but that's it for this time. Thank you very much for watching, guys. I appreciate your support an awful lot. The road to Zenvo continues, and it's not a long road to go from here. That's it for this time, though. Thanks for watching as always, and I'll see you again very soon. Cheers.